Hello everyone, back to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days for today's second video, taking us into the second week of March. So all change with the weather, and it's going to be turning much more unsettled. It's going to be turning a lot cooler as well. We're going to lose these early summer-like temperatures that we've been experiencing over the past week or so, and we're going to replace it with something a lot cooler from the North Atlantic. So we've got a final afternoon of dry and warm weather to go. So if you enjoy it, then get out in the sunshine in the next 2 or 3 hours, because once days outweigh, temperatures and weather itself will be deteriorating through the rest of week and into weekend. It's all covered by a 5-day forecast, which we did release earlier on this afternoon. So have a look at that and you'll have a good idea of what's happening in the next few days with these changes in the weather. It's going to extend out beyond the 5-day forecast period. That's going to go to the second week of March, and it actually go to the middle of the month with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. And we'll also have a look at 7SV2 for next month as well. But just starting off with yesterday. So we did video yesterday, and up to that point, we've got the new temperature record being set in Wales. And I said that it was possible that that record that had been set yesterday in Wales would only last for a few minutes and it would be beaten by somewhere else. That is indeed what happened. So I just got to bring you up to date with yesterday's final temperature record. This tweet from the UK Met was put out yesterday afternoon, round half an hour after I'd recorded yesterday's main video update, and they confirmed that Kew Gardens actually took the record for February and for the winter. So Kew Gardens has reached 21.2 degrees Celsius, which is the UK's new maximum temperature record for February, winter and the year so far. 21.27 or 21.2 is 70 Fahrenheit, and it's the first time 70 Fahrenheit has ever been reached in the UK during the winter or during February. So all of those Welsh places that had got the record for the UK's top temperature in February and in winter, they were, in the end, picked to the post by Kew Gardens. Kew Gardens came in right at the very end of the day yesterday with that 21.2 degrees. Now, it is very mild out there today, but we're not going to be breaking records today, I don't think. So, as I'm recording the video at 18 minutes past 2 in the afternoon, our top temperatures currently are 18 degrees, whereas this time yesterday we'd already got temperatures around 20. So we're just a couple of degrees lower today, and that will stop us from reaching a record. Two weather stations flashing away at 18 degrees. We've got this one just here, Headcorn Aerodrome, and then also we've got this one right up here in the north, Aboyne, is at 18 degrees. So I think it's really warm. These temperatures, even today, are exceptional to be getting temperatures into the upper teens Celsius. Bedford at 16, for example. High Wycombe at 17. Biggin Hill at 17. Stansted is at 17 as well. London Heathrow is at 17, and so on. So these are very exceptional temperatures, but not quite reaching the record-breaking levels that we was at yesterday and the day before. And this is expected, we said today would be the first day that temperatures would start to cool, although still very warm. But from tomorrow, that is really when you'll notice temperature coming down. You'll notice these green colours in the far north. So there we go. Aboyne Airport is at 10 degrees, and Altby is at 11 degrees. We're going down into Ireland. We've got Ballyhassie there at just 6 degrees. So things turning much cooler already across Western Scotland, Ireland. Lockthea at 11 degrees. Belfast is at 13. So things are already cooling down into the low teens in the far northwest. This is a sign of what is on the way in the next couple of days. But for today, for this afternoon, it remains exceptionally warm down in the southeast at the time of year. But as I say, not the record-breaking warmth that we had yesterday. Central England temperature is looking like this. So we're currently at 6.9 degrees, an anomaly of 3.2 above average, so we're just under 7 degrees, provisional to the 26th. I think we're going to fall just short of 7 degrees. I think that's about as high as it's going to get. It may tick up to 7.0 when we look at this tomorrow. So technically it might get to 7.0 provisionally, but then there's bound to be a little bit of a downwards correction. So I think we're going to finish up around 6.7, 6.8, something like that. Very mild February, but not the 7-degree finish, I don't think, that that we thought was possible. Nevertheless, still going to be around 3 degrees above the 61 to 1990 average. So let's just get rid of those tabs and we'll go through to the ensembles and these the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles today. In fact, before I do that, I think I'm just going to pause the video there because these tabs are refreshed as we're going along. So we're just going to pause the video, go through the tabs, get them to refresh, and then we'll start the video in around 2 seconds time. So I'll see you in around 2 seconds. Right, we're back. That should be sorted out, the tabs. So, as these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. We're at West Bromwich in the West Midlands today. Another suggested place on our list of suggested locations for this section of the video. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average for West Bromwich. We are substantially above average right now. It is very warm, unusually warm still in terms of those upper air temperatures for this time of year. But you'll notice pretty much from now onwards the temperatures are downhill all the way. So in the next couple of days we're going to see temperatures dropping to around there, still above average through to the weekend with the upper air temperatures, but certainly a lot cooler compared to where we are right now. And then a further drop in the upper air temperatures takes place over the weekend and into next week. So by the time we get through to the early part of next week, it looks like those upper air temperatures are going below average. And then it looks like we're in for quite a cool early part of March, actually, really from sort of early next week through to the middle of the month. That's the 15th of March, just there, from early next week through to the middle of the month. Looks like the temperatures are generally trending on the cooler than average side. There will be some minor interludes coming through with areas of low pressure and some warmer sectors, but overall looks like we're going into a pretty chilly phase actually through that first half of March. So do make the most of this afternoon's warm, because once it goes it could be quite a while actually before we're lifting temperatures back into the sort of upper teens Celsius. Certainly before the first half of March there's not much sign of temperatures going back into the upper teens Celsius, and a lot more unsettled as well. So I'm going to be dry the rest of today, but from tomorrow we're going to have some showers breaking out across the country, and then really from the end of the week through the weekend into next week it looks a lot more unsettled. So showers or longer spells of rain and significantly cooler temperatures on the way. Temperature anomalies from the 27th of February to the 7th of March are still ever so slightly above average, but these charts are cooling down day by day. I suspect when we look at this either tomorrow or Friday, we may even see the temperature anomaly coming out just a little bit below average perhaps for the first week and into the second week of March. Precipitation anomalies are looking more unsettled as well. Northern parts of the country still hanging on to drier than average precipitation anomalies from the 27th of February to the 7th of March, but southern parts of the country looking wetter than average. And I suspect again we're going to see these charts trending even wetter over the days ahead. This is how the GFS is looking for Saturday. This is all covered by the 5-day forecast, of course. So low pressure is out to west of us on Saturday, bringing wet and windy weather in across the country. This area of low pressure down here at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday could bring some really wet weather to parts of England and Wales during the course of Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. All those low pressure get out of the way for Monday, and we're left in this run of the cool, chilly, strong and showery west to northwesterly winds. And then through Tuesday to Wednesday, we actually find the wind turning into the north as low pressure clears away to the east. So we start to pull down some really quite cold air from the north through the middle of next week. Could well be cold enough to turn showers to snow across the northern parts of the country, and wintry showers might even be possible a little bit further south. That sounds quite shocking given how warm it's been, but remember, it's the warmth that we've had that's abnormal, not the chance of snow or wintry showers in early March. Early March is often a time that has wintry showers and can have snow. It can be very snowy, actually, in the early part of March. Some winters, the early part of March is the snowiest part of the whole of the winter. That happened, for example, in the winter of 69-70. March 1970, early March 1970, was exceptionally snowy across many parts of the country. So it's not anything particularly unusual to have chilly winds and wintry showers and a chance of some snow in early March. It really is the weather that we've had in the past week or so that has been very unusual and very abnormal. So this is just the weather getting back to normal, really, for early March. So risk of wintry showers in the north on Wednesday, and then go through into the second half of next week. The winds turn back into west, but it stays unsettled and it stays pretty cool, really. You've got this high pressure out in the middle of the Atlantic. We're aligning the jet stream on a northwest southeast track, going in that sort of direction. And so we remain on the cool side of the jet stream. The jet stream is the black line, of course, that's to our south as well. We're on the cold side of the jet. We're bringing areas of low pressure in off the Atlantic, so it's unsettled, but it's still cool, with winds generally from a west to northwesterly direction. That's how we're looking at day 10. It's actually just built a little bit of a ridge up from the southwest, or trying to at that point. Also trying to get a bit of a ridge going over Scandinavia. However, it's low pressure from the Atlantic that remains in control of things through into the extended range with the GFS operational run. We continue to look very unsettled, very showery, and often quite cool again. This high pressure continues to be sitting out to the west of the country, which again is pulling the winds in from the northwest. We've got a northwest southeast alignment to the jet stream, particularly the northern parts of the country. There could be wintry showers. That's how we finish up with the GFS 6 o'clock run. It takes us to the 15th of March, so the middle of March. Still looking quite cool, really. High pressure is out to the west. We're still bringing in these chilly winds from a northwesterly direction. Big changes in terms of the accumulated precipitation based on that GFS run. So this is the 5-day accumulated precipitation from today, Wednesday, 27th of February, going through to the start of next week. We see that many parts of the country are looking quite a lot wetter, so most places sort of going up to around 25 millimetres. That's an inch of rain. Still quite dry for eastern and northeastern parts of Scotland down to northeast England. That area is still struggling to get much precipitation. Otherwise, most places are kind of like close to 25 millimetres. For 10-day precipitation, accumulated precipitation looks like that. This is from weatheroutlook.com, of course, and it's getting even wetter. So in the 10-day period, we're up to around 50 millimetres through many central, western and southwestern parts of the country. 50 millimetres is 2 inches of rain in 10 days. It's quite a bit. And up to the northeast, it seems to turn a bit wetter there. So parts of northeast England and eastern Scotland, it takes a little bit longer to push the rain through for you, but eventually it does look as though between days 5 and 10, even there, it is turning quite a lot more unsettled. We are desperate, in desperate need for the rain. We desperately need it. So it's good news really that rain is on the way in the next 5 to 10 days. The parallel GFS run is looking like this. So again, unsettled for the weekend and into the early part of next week. Low pressure continues to be close to the country. It pulls away into Tuesday. We just start to turn wind into the north a bit on Tuesday, so it does turn colder around the middle of the week. Could be some snow up in the north. Then low pressure back in off the Atlantic, bringing more rain in the second half of next week. Running up towards day 10 and a little bit beyond day 10, we stay unsettled and quite cool. The winds are in from the northwest. We've got high pressure down to the southwest, low pressures up to the northeast, pulling quite cold air out of Greenland. Certainly cold enough for wintry showers up in the north. The jet stream again, a line northwest to southeast. And we do actually turn the wind into the north there with this parallel GFS run. So a bit of a northerly shock coming down there on the 11th of March could bring snow to northern parts of the country. And that's how we finish up with the parallel GFS. It looks like we're trying to raise pressure over Scandinavia again, but still low pressures coming in off the Atlantic. So that remains quite unsettled and quite cool, really, up to the middle part of March. I suspect that the first half of March, on the charts we're seeing here, could well finish up coming out a little bit colder than average, to be honest. That's how it looks like it's shaping up. By the way, the parallel run is going to become the operational GFS run. That was scheduled to happen in March. It's been pushed back again. They're pushing it back to April now, but at some point the parallel GFS run will become the main operational GFS run. ECM is looking like that. Excuse me, looking like that. So unsettled over the weekend and into the early part of next week. This looks like quite a nasty area of low pressure just here, affecting England and Wales from Sunday into Monday. That could bring a lot of very wet weather into the south. That low pressure is out of the way into the middle of next week, and we pull down these quite cold winds from a north-northwesterly direction. They'll be fairly showery. And then we're going to up towards day 10, and we look increasingly unsettled still. So that's how we're looking at day 10, which is Saturday the 9th of March. Showery and pretty chilly. Winds are from the northwest, bringing showers all along for spells of rain, and probably cold enough for showers to be wintry up in the north. This is from tametio.com. I'll leave a link to this in the description at YouTube. We also link to this and all of the websites featured in this video. We link to them on the links page at GFS. This is showing precipitation over the next few days. So we're starting off really dry, and it's based on that ECM run we're just looking at. We're starting off really dry. Tomorrow we've got showers breaking out, though, across England and Wales. Some quite deep blue colours are indicating some pretty heavy showers tomorrow, and there is a risk of hail and thunder being mixed in. Those showers move away into Friday, and on Friday the rain is mainly restricted to the very far west with this band of wet weather here, so we go back to drier conditions again on Friday, but then that rain as a showery band moves across the country from Friday into Saturday, and hot on its heels will be this mass of wet and windy weather. This could bring severe gales to southwestern parts of Scotland, and also a lot of heavy rain through the course of Saturday. That sweeps across the country, leaving us with sunshine and showers for Sunday morning. Before, look at this, a huge mass of rain moves up from the southwest, affecting Ireland, England and Wales through the course of Sunday. As that gets a bit further north, there's a little bit of a suggestion of some snow across parts of northern England. I would think that's mainly restricted to the Pennines, but we will keep a close eye on it. Very wet further south, of course, through Sunday and into Monday. But on Monday, that all pulls out of the way, leaving us with sunshine and some showers. Those showers could be wintry in the north, of course. And then go through the rest of next week, and after a dry but quite cold middle part of the week, we go unsettled again, bringing more wet weather in from off the Atlantic there as we go through towards day 10. So we've got another massive rain moving in off the Atlantic at day 10, which of course is going to be the 9th of March. Looking very wet there. So it is a much more unsettled first 10 days to March than we've been used to. These are the options that are on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10. So this is for the 9th of March. We've got 17 members of the ECM ensembles from the Icelandic Met Office course. 17 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure, below average heights to the east of us and also to the west of us. A little bit of a transient bump of high pressure for day 10, but that wouldn't last very long at all. These areas of low pressure in the Atlantic will very quickly flatten that off. We've got 15 members of the ECM ensembles with a ridge down to the southwest and low pressure out to the northwest. They're looking unsettled, bringing a westerly wind. There's 11, including the operational ECM run, that are really unsettled at day 10. We're just looking at that. Of course, we've got low pressure racing in from off the Atlantic with those 11, and we've got a further 8 have low pressure over to the south of the country. Again, they're very unsettled, and they're a bit colder as well, because we're on the cold side of the jet stream. Overall, it does look unsettled up to day 10. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that are on the table with the ECM Ensemble. So we've got 20 Ensemble members with low pressure, again, over to the east of the country. They're unsettled and quite cold with the jet stream on a northwest-southeast alignment. We've got 18 with low pressure over to the east of the country. They could be a little bit northerly. They could be bringing in some northerly winds for the 14th of March in 2 weeks' time. 11 Ensemble members with low pressure out to the northwest, so they're still unsettled, but they're milder. Winds are in from a westerly direction. And then finally, we've got, I think it's just two members of the ECM ensembles in 2 weeks that have this very weak trough of low pressure close to the country. They're raising heights over Scandinavia, and also in the middle of the Atlantic. So they're trying to get back to more of an anticyclonic phase. We'll probably build a ridge from the Atlantic to Scandinavia if we could go any further. But there's only 2 of those. They're a very minority sort of option. Overall, it does look as though the ECM ensembles are still unsettled up to the middle part of March. Finally, the CFS V2. So these are 500 millibar heights, broken down into week periods. The first week period will take us from the 27th of February to the 5th of March. The coming week is seeing the high pressure now starting to weaken and collapse as low pressure develops in the Atlantic. The jet streams moving southwards, pushing that high pressure away to the south. So this is transitional, starting off under high pressure now, but by the weekend will be much more unsettled, as we've already explained. And then we go through to week 2, which is the 6th to the 12th of March, looking very unsettled, low pressure out to the northwest of the country. We're sending the jet stream on a northwest-southeast alignment, so it's cool and it's unsettled as we go to the 12th of March. Week 3, however, sees a change. Heights start to rise to our south again. Low pressure begins to get pushed up to the north, so we begin to find the jet stream doing something like that. The jet stream's returning northwards. We're beginning to build a ridge to the south. That's starting to turn drier and warmer through the middle part of March, and that's how we finish up in week 4, which is the 20th to 26th of March, with above average heights really stretching in from the Atlantic over and to the east of the country. Low pressure with the jet streams up there. So we're going back onto the mild side of the jet there through the second half of March. We're close to a ridge of high pressure. Spring returns from the middle of March. There's not much sign of that within the shorter range model output at the moment, but can't be discounted. We do continuously see high pressure coming back, of course, after interruptions of more unsettled weather. So we'll just wait and see about that. But certainly the first 10 days of March looking a lot more unsettled and significantly cooler than we've had recently. If you enjoy warm and dry weather, the message from the models is get out there and enjoy it in the next couple of hours, because things are deteriorating from tomorrow, both in terms of the temperature, which will be dropping, and by the early part of next week could actually feel quite cold, and also it's turning a lot more unsettled as well. Right, we'll be back tomorrow with your week to 10 day video update, so come back for that then. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.